Hey, I'm back. This is video 5, part 5 of voltage synthesizer basics. Now, part 4 got cut off because, I had to put my charger in and I had to pause it to go downstairs and somehow it got cut off, but I'm grateful that it still got saved, so I'm sorry about that, but maybe it's a little better anyway. Okay, now I'm down here in front of my workbench that I built just this year. And let's just give you a brief look at it and my measuring instruments here. And okay, over here. Okay, first show you the workbench here a little bit. Okay, there's a nice lighting system to have out up there with just two bulbs on. This one's some kind of photographic lighting system, but I just use it for low voltage, low wattage bulbs. And okay, now over here you can see my big oscilloscope, but I could never get it to work right. It's from the 70s probably. Yeah, 70s. And here's one I bought last year, I think it was. BK Precision. For just somewhere over $300. And it's pretty good for the price. And over here I got a multimeter, and I can't see very well with that bright bulb there. I'll just flip this around. There's a mini meter there, and below it there's a digital multimeter and my power supply. And then over in the corner there, I have an old icometer that I need to. Yeah, there it is, laying down there. I have to, yeah, it works, but I just gotta, the current meter part of it doesn't work right, so I have to troubleshoot that. But it's really good for, I like the analog meters better than the digital ones. Okay, now, first before I show you the prototype, I just wanted to show you this little transformer right here. Now it is a 10-to-1 step-down transformer. And I used that to build my first prototype. And it's supposed to step it down to 12 volts from 120 volts. But it puts out about 15 volts instead. So I used that, constructing diagram 3 basically. And I got 30 volts out of that, and I powered up 2 little dashboard lights from a vehicle for the cost of one, or should I say the current needed for one. But also I want to show you this 2-prong plug that goes into the primary. If you notice here, the width of both prongs is the same. Now, I don't know if you can buy these more. I think you can, probably at Home Hardware. And they're good. If you can get them, get one, because you're going to need it for the secondary of this transformer here. It's just easy to turn them around. But don't use them again for an extension cord, because if someone else uses it, they could plug in a device wrong. Okay, now just while I'm talking about that, here's one that controls this lamp here. Let's unplug it. And I hope you can see it here, but it's got a wider one. This one here. That is the neutral wire connection, and it's a little wider, and they use that for safety. Now, you wouldn't want one of those to plug in the secondary of a transformer, because it won't fit one way, or no, you can't actually turn around. Let's just have a look here and see. No, well, mine, I believe on this old one, they're the same. So this is an old one. So the new one I showed you in the last part 4, they're probably set up to have the right size slots for safety. Okay, that might solve the problem I was talking about. Okay, now okay. Now what I can do is give you a glimpse of my prototype. It's kind of hard to use a laptop computer to do the filming because you got to be careful you don't drop it, for one thing. Now right down here you can see those are 60-watt light bulbs, and they don't have 100-watt light bulbs right now because that's what I talk about in my publication, and the calculations I did were for 100-watt light bulbs, but this would be okay. What we'll do is pretend these are 100-watt light bulbs, and I'll talk about the current they need and stuff. Now over here, right here, this is my charging cable. I know I shouldn't do that when I'm recording. You can see these wires here. Those are the series parallel connections, okay, to connect it all together. Now, okay, just ignore this little guy. I should take him out of there, but okay, now over here is the old Hammond isolation transformer right here. He's probably from the 70s, maybe 80s. And here's a picture of it from the side. And right here is the cord, this black cord here. Guess you can't see my hand. There it is. That plugs into your power supply. Now, okay, what I'll do is I'm going to pause this video, and I have to get ready to turn this prototype on to prove that it works. So what I'll do is just have these light bulbs here ready to come on so that you will know. And then I will go through every part and kind of explain everything that I need to explain. Okay, now I'm ready to show you how this works. But I will be pausing the video a lot because I got to make connections to show you the measurements with the voltmeter and the oscilloscope to prove that diagram 3. It works. It works. Okay. Now, these are the 2 bulbs that are going to light up at the same time, and they're connected in series, and they're plugged in to a duplex receptacle through this extension cord, and the voltage synthesizer is using the current needed for just one. Okay, but now these are 60-watt light bulbs, and in my publications and my other videos I talk about 100-watt light bulbs. That's because I used Ohm laws to calculate all that. So what we'll do is pretend these are 100-watt light bulbs when I talk about it. Okay, about the current and the ohms and that. Okay, now what I do, I plug in this extension cord into this kind of strip outlet where I plug in, this is kind of basically a lamp cord, and this is goes to the transformer primary. Okay, these are the parallel branches that I make from 120 volts, and there's 120 volts going down both. So I'll show you this, and I'll talk about this a little bit more here. So what I do, I plug this into here, and you should do this, okay? So no, something goes wrong in your experiment, especially the first time you do it, okay? You plug it in slowly, and if something goes wrong, it doesn't feel right, you quickly pull it out, okay? But I suggest you do it first with lower voltages before you do it with 120 volts. So I'll just show you this too. There'll just be a little buzz from the transformer when you first plug it in. Here we go. There we are. I don't know how well you can see those bulbs, but they're both lit up and they're bright as 60-watt light bulbs. And the current going there is, all that's required is the current for one light bulb. But I'm pushing the current through one light bulb and then the other. Okay, but now there might, with my digital current meter, sometimes I'm reading 10 or 15 milliamps more than what it should be. Okay, now I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it could be drawing more current from the power supply, which is the the electricity in your wall, or it could be generating a little bit more because of the extra pressure to 140 volts. What that might do is it's more pressure, and more force, and it'll bounce around the electrons more, bumping off other electrons and other particles. And what it could be doing is, it's freeing more electrons in the atoms, so they bounce around more, and that creates more work to be done. So these could be a tiny bit brighter, just a tiny bit. And of course, a little bit more heat would come off them too. And so that would be a good thing if that's the case. And so, okay, now I'll turn it off, and we'll go through the different parts, and I'll talk about them and explain them a little bit. And then I'll set up the oscilloscope, and I got two multimeters here to work with to prove that I got the voltages. I'll prove that I got the voltages, but I won't do the current, because that's you got to break the circuit of one of the wires, to get the current in there, in the line, in series. So that takes a little bit more. So I don't have to prove that. I just have to prove I got 240 volts. Okay. And I'll even show I got 120 volts coming out of the secondary, which is this wire right here. Okay, I'll turn it off now. Just pull it apart like this, and now it's off. Okay, I guess I don't have to pause it. I can just get into this right away. Now, what I might do though is plug in this little light here. It might help so you can see things better. There we go. Now, but I gotta get him out of the way here a bit. Now, I guess we'll start from the left and go to the right. Okay. Like I said, here is the power strip, 3-prong. But I only used 2-prong. Well, this is 2-prong here, just a lamp cord. And I'll even pull it out. Okay. And this one here is 3-prong. It goes to the primary of my transformer. But, okay, the transformer